sorry. How awful that.
Thank you. It hasn't been easy.
Your boss has been so kind, and we really feel that he can help us. So, you don't think it was an accident?
No, and Mr. Howell is going to prove it.
Oh, forgive me for my rudeness. Would you ladies care for some water? I'd offer you some coffee, but I don't think Johnny has put on the pot today.
No, thank you.
I don't know what's taking him so long. Johnny, someone's here to see you. Oh, there you are, Johnny. Miss Rivers and Mrs. Hawkins are here. Oh, that's Miss Hawkins.
Miss Rivers, Miss Hawkins, I'm sorry to have kept you waiting.
We haven't heard from you, Johnny, and we're anxious to know what you found out.
Forgive us for being impatient. We were also a bit worried. It's a relief to see you are all right.
Why wouldn't I be all right?
Well, this whole thing just seems so dangerous. If you came across the person who caused Hamilton's demise and they felt you were snooping too much, it could be, well, not so well for you, if you know what I mean.
You don't have to worry about me, Miss Hawkins.
I know I shouldn't. Worrying's a sin.
Excuse me?
What she means is that we are happy to see you. Now, about the case.
Yes, well, I think I'm onto something.
Really? I knew it. But please be careful. You know what happened to Charlie Smithers.
When she said that, I just didn't have a clue how to respond. Charlie Smithers. Who's Charlie Smithers and what happened to him? Man, this was something that I should know about. I should have stayed in that water closet a little longer. I knew I had to get this one right, and I knew I could use this to really get some info from this gal and hopefully get some of my memory back. Yeah, this was the big moment. I was at a crossroads here. This was my Gettysburg, my big turning point in the case. If I nailed this, it was easy street. I had to make this count.
Yeah.
But, of course, you would know about that. It was in all the papers. And him being a detective, too, of course, you would keep tabs on those things.
The Barney case. Smithers found out what was going on and it was curtains for him. Awful tragedy.
Are you feeling all right, Mr. Howland? You don't look well.
I guess I do have a bit of a headache.
Oh, you really dear.
Ladies, we should go over the case again.
Again? All right, if you want.
Your brother, Hanfield Rivers, was in a car accident, and he drowned in the river. His body has not yet been recovered.
Yes, that's correct, but that is...
Tell me about your brother, honey. What was he like?
Is this important to the case?
Everything is important in the case, Miss Rivers.
Well, growing up, he was a sweet boy. He was well-mannered and such an early riser. Every morning at the crack of dawn, he was waking us all up. He was ambitious, but he made bad choices as an adult.
Bad choices? Like what, for instance?
Well, his marriage, for one thing. And he was never good at making a living.
All right, that's good. What else?
What else? What else do you want to hear?
Just going over every little thing we have so far, miss.
All right.
What about Veronica Rivers, the widow?
What about her?
I guess we've established that she had nothing to do with it.
Oh, we have. I know I should not have suspected my own sister-in-law, but I just couldn't help it. She was not in agreement with us finding a detective, and she was so settled on the police's version that it was an accident.
She was? But does she know that you hired me?
I don't know what she knows. We haven't really talked much since my brother's death. I guess I can't hide my true feelings here, but I just don't like that woman. I don't trust her one bit. She works in a dive that I would not set foot in. Calls herself a singer. But Johnny, we have already told you all of this.
Where can I find her? I may need to ask her some questions.
Again? Surely you have questioned her enough by now.
Yes, of course. I just thought...
She works at the Skulking Rooster Cafe. I'm sure we've told you that.
Chicken soup!
I beg your pardon?
They were serving chicken soup the night that I was there. I could smell it.
And
my mother sent some over. Would you like some?
No, thank you. Mr. Howland, I am disappointed.
Is this a personal problem, or are we still talking about the case?
I came here to find out what you have uncovered because I had not heard from you in a few days. Ever since you walked into the room, I have been totally confused. Nothing you have said to me has made any sense whatsoever. Wanting to go over the basic details of the case? I have already told you all of this. I have a mind to find someone else.
Vivian, I think you're just tired. You should probably go on home and get some rest.
Is it just me? Laura, don't you find Mr. Howland's behavior quite unusual?
Mr. Howland has a headache, that's all. Why don't you go on home and I will stay and talk to the detective. I'll let you know what's happening on with the case.
But are you sure? How will I get home? You drove.
Just take a cab, dear.
I am feeling rather tired. And I've gotten so worked up and upset. Maybe I will do that. Are you sure you'll be okay?
I'll be fine. Betty, could you ring for a cab?
There's one parked out front right now.
Okay, you knock on my door as soon as you get home, Laura.
I will, dear. And don't worry about a thing. And don't forget to take your medication. Mr. Howland, would you like to explain to me what is going on here?
Why, Miss Hawkins, I was about to start up a basketball team and you just sent home our star center.
I'm not an idiot. There is something very wrong here, and I think you owe me an explanation. Now, I sent Vivian home because I didn't want to upset her any further. You came very close to being fired just now. Now, I will not lose my temper with you, sir, because I'm a Christian woman, and it would not be right. But I do think you should explain this bizarre behavior we have witnessed today.
Bizarre behavior?
Oh, go ahead and tell her, Johnny. I think you can trust her. I recognized her from South Street Chapel. I visited there a few times, and I remember seeing her singing in the choir. Johnny, she's a Christian. You can tell her.
Well, I guess you have to tell me now. Please, don't make anything up this time.
Miss Hawkins, I was hit over the head. Well, it must have been pretty hard because now I have amnesia.
Amnesia?
It's the God honest truth. Is that okay to say?
Not if you're lying. So you don't remember anything?
Oh, I remember quite a bit, actually. I knew my mom when she called, and Betty. And I knew my name and where I lived. That all came back to me. But I did not know you and Miss Rivers when you walked in.
That explains a lot. But you did seem to know stuff about the case.
Well, I was listening at the door as my secretary questioned you.
But that stuff about Veronica Rivers.
Oh, she was here this morning. She wanted to hire me.
What on earth for?
Same reason as your friend. But since I didn't know who she was, or anything about the case, or the fact that Hanfield's sister had already hired me.
That just doesn't make any sense. She was so opposed to the idea. So now you are working for her too?
No, she left quickly. She was being very mysterious. I didn't even get her phone number.
Knowing her, that is odd. Not the mysterious part. From what I know of her, she should be at the top of your list. But why would she come and hire you? That would get you asking a lot of questions. And if she has something to hide, she wouldn't want you asking around.
Or what if I already asked around if she knows it? Maybe she was trying to find out if I was working for her sister-in-law.
Mr. Howland, Vivian and I neither one trust Mrs. Rivers the least little bit.
So I gather. Well, what about you, Miss Hawkins? Why are you so involved in this thing? Just being neighborly?
Well, I know that's hard to believe, but yes, that is basically it. Vivian is my landlady, and I've helped her quite a bit with her finances. You see, I work at the bank, and she came to me with many questions about her money. We became friends, and when her brother was killed, I told